make sure we have quorum.
Absolutely. Commissioner Brunheiser, Commissioner DeBunda. I see his picture.
Yeah, his desk is here.
Commissioner Egloff.
Here.
Thanks, Doc. Commissioner Ellis, Commissioner Jones,
Here.
Commissioner Lark. Commissioner Lark.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner
This is
Rogers.
Commissioner DeBunda, I am here.
Thank you. Commissioner Rogers, Commissioner Ruddy, Commissioner Sweeney. Everyone's here.
All right, let's dig in. You all know that we did have our executive session this morning, and I assume, Tom, we've advertised the meeting in compliance with the Sunshine Act. So let's move to the minutes from February 28th. Everybody had a chance to look at those?
Move approval.
Okay, Commissioner Ellis on the motion, Commissioner Brunheiser on the second. Questions, discussions, corrections, anything for the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes. I apologize for Secretary Redding, who, as we speak, is starting his Senate budget hearing. So thoughts and prayers to the Secretary. And let's move on to the Racing Fund financial report from Tracy, who I'm sure also would like to express relief at not being at the budget hearing.
Good afternoon, Deputy Secretary Cook and Commissioners. Starting out with Tracy Gottwalt, G-O-T-W-A-L-T. Starting out with the racing fund balance, it had a beginning cash balance that at the beginning of February of $5,723,000. Revenue was $1,555,000. Expenditures was $1,412,000, bringing the ending cash balance to $5,866,000. Revenue and expenditures for the Racehorse Commission. Revenue for the month was $775,000. Personnel expenditures were $328,000. Operating expenditures were $72,000, bringing total expenditures for the month to $400,000. Racehorse testing, the revenue for the month was $780,000. Personnel expenditures were $270,000. Operating expenditures were $532,000, bringing the total expenditures for the month to $802,000. Promotion, there was no revenue for the month. There was expenditures of $193,000. Looking at the comparative financial statements, February 28th of 2023 compared to February 28th of 2022. Total revenue was up 1%. Personnel expenditures were up 3%. Overall operating dollars are up 33%. The largest driver of that is the UPenn contract, bringing total expenditures at an increase of 18%. And then the remaining financial statements are for the restricted funds.
I have a question back under the Racehorse Commission. IT, why are we, about 138,000 over budget? Where at year to date, it's 358 and the budget was like 250.
So at the time we set the budget, we were not aware that we were hiring an additional IT contractor, Mark Whalen. And then I also believe there was purchases of laptops. Tom, you can probably speak better to the actual expenditures.
There were two main reasons for that, Commissioner. The first is that I advised the commission after the budget was done, all the equipment in the field that hadn't been replaced in almost 7 years. The computers and the monitors were no longer under maintenance. So that was about $150,000 right there. Now that is a one-time expenditure that won't be required in the next 3 to 5 years. But equipment was obsolete. We had pushed it and pushed it. We probably would have done it piecemeal during the pandemic years, but unfortunately, we put in orders, and because of the supply chain, it all came together at that point in time.
Other questions?
Yeah, Tracy, you've seen, I know the budget from the new governor's not been finalized. Have you seen anything in there that would have an impact on what we have in our budget?
No, there's nothing in there that has an impact. I mean, if you recall, we did have to reduce our spending authority. And I've been speaking to executive staff here that the sunset provision cannot be renewed again. We just need to stay on top of that.
No, the cap.
But
The cap,
The
with the
cap.
cap and the sunset
Not the
provision,
sunset, but the cap.
the cap. Yeah.
let me jump in here. Let's clarify this so we're on the same page. What Tracy's referring to is the sunset agreement was extended till 2025. There has been a cap, an arbitrary cap set at a little over 10 million. The cap the sunset needs to be extended again. We'll address that in the future years, but it can't be with the cap. The cap has to come off. The sunset has to go forward, but the cap has to come off.
Any other questions? If not, thank you, Tracy. Appreciate the presentation. And Tom, let's talk about the lab services agreement.
With Madam Chair's indulgence in the commissions, I'm going to give a brief overview of HISA, just where we are today, and then I'll address the lab agreement at the end, if that's acceptable to you and the commissioners. All right. Yesterday, the FTC at about 10:30 approved HISA HIWU's rules and regulations. They went into full effect yesterday. As far as the contracts, we've talked about the racetrack safety program agreement. We've talked about the IGA, or better called the ADMC agreement, and the lab services. The key point, I think, one of the key points is on the financial end. I'd like to make sure everybody's aware. In the last meeting, the 9-month assessment from HISA was a little over $6 million, $6,057,000 to be exact. And I informed the commission and the group we were negotiating and finalizing the credits that would come back. We settled on a little over $4,816,000, which leaves an outstanding balance pretty much to the track and the horsemen of a little over $1.2 million. That was the number that they were assessed back in June or July, I think it was, of 2022. So those credits will offset us doing the work. The racetrack safety program's in place till the end of the year. It started 1/1/23 through 1/12/31/23. The IGA is one of the agreements. Obviously, we have advised the commission and everyone in the public session that while the commission approved it last session, it's got to go to the OGC and the AG for final approval. In the interim, we did an LOI, a 60-day bridge gap to get there. That's been signed, sent, and agreed to by HISA and HIWU. The last outstanding issue was the lab services agreement. That was pending your ratification today, which is an agenda item later on. We will send the LOI signed by us and Dr. Robinson's letter that attests that she will operate under the equine laboratory standards. That should go today. All the particulars that I articulated in the last meeting, from the financial credits to the reporting and so on, is in place. Those are all back to where we were before that we had discussed. So basically, I'll be looking later in the program for a ratification of the action we took on your behalf coming out of last week's meeting. Madam Chair.
Thank you, Tom. Any questions for Tom before we move on to our administrative action? Okay,
I think I'd just like to say one thing, that we as a commission owes a great debt of appreciation to Tom, Tony, and George for working with HISA over this last period of time and to get us where we are today compared to where we started in our negotiations with them. I think contrary to opinions out there in the industry, that Pennsylvania didn't know what they were doing. I think we've illustrated to them that probably HISA better turn to us for an education on how this is to be done, because we know more about how the job is to be done than they do. And so I'd like to say thank you to you three guys for the job you've done, because I think it needs our appreciation.
And I would second that motion. Thank you all three of you, and the rest of your staff.
good. All right, let's turn to the simulcast calendars, Tom.
Sure. Under administrative action, we seek a motion to approve the simulcast calendars for April of 2023 for the harness tracks, Harris, Philadelphia, Mohegan Sun, and Pocono Downs in the Meadows, Madam Chair.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you.
So moved, Commissioner Lark.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes.
Next item, Madam Chair, is a motion to approve the simulcast calendars for April 2023 for the thoroughbred tracks, Parks, Penn National, and Presque Isle Downs.
I'll make such a motion.
Thank you, Commissioner DeBunda. Is there a second? Thank you, Commissioner Reddy. And is there any discussion here? Questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
The next item, Madam Chair, is a motion to ratify the HISA Laboratory Services Agreement.
Madam Chair, I move that this commission ratifies the interim laboratory service letter agreement as executed by Thoroughbred Director Chukis and representatives of HISA and IU, with the understanding that the final laboratory services agreement will be forwarded to the OGC and the OAG for final approval.
Thank you,
I
Commissioner.
will
Is there?
second that motion.
Thank you, Commissioner DeBunda. Any discussion, questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion
Abstain. I abstain.
with one abstention,
Yes.
motion passes. Okay, that brings us up to our adjudication. Counselor, take it away.
Thank you, Chairman. This matter is before the Pennsylvania State Horse Racing Commission pursuant to an appeal filed by Gregory B. Peck from a December 6, 2022 ruling issued at number 22105 CD of the Board of Judges from Harris, Philadelphia. The judge's ruling was based upon a finding that Mr. Peck, while driving Stick With Me in the 13th race on November 10th, 2022 at Harris, intentionally drove from a too wide position to a position on the inside without proper clearance. This action caused interference to and forced another horse and driver, Doyle Hanover, driven by Marcus Miller, off the track. Ruling 2201-105 CD imposed a $5,000 fine and a 2-year suspension from driving upon Mr. Peck to be computed beginning December 16th, 2022 and lasting through December 15th, 2024. That was the ruling. Based upon this commission's conduct of the hearing last month, and you had a proposed adjudication, and you've seen the video of the race as well as the exhibits of record, I would propose the following order. And now this 28th day of March, 2023, upon consideration of the testimony and exhibits of record, it is hereby ordered that ruling number 22105 CD of the Harris Philadelphia Board of Judges dated December 5th, 2022, which imposed upon appellant Gregory B. Peck a fine of $5,000 and a suspension of his driver's license for 2 years for the enumerated violations of the Commission's regulations is hereby affirmed. However, the Commission hereby amends the computed start date of Mr. Peck's suspension to coincide with the start of Mr. Peck's summary license suspension on November 11th, 2022. Accordingly, the revised end date of the suspension shall be and include November 10th, 2024. The fine of $5,000 shall be due within 10 days of receiving this order. As Mr. Peck's license is currently suspended, this order shall take immediate effect. That can be done in the form of a motion.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
Yes, so moved, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Brenizer.
And I'll second that motion.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second from Commissioner Sweeney. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions from this? Hearing none, motion passes.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. We'll turn to industry reports, and I guess as usual, we'll start with Tom and Tony and see if there's anything on behalf of the bureaus that you'd like to raise.
Okay. Madam Chair, we'll go right to the industry reports today. Yes. As usual, for the benefit of the court reporter, those of you on phone or on Teams and the people here in the room, please just state your name and spell it, please, for the court reporters. So as usual, we'll start off with Scott Lisha out at the Meadows. Scott?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair, Mr. Solano, members of the commission. My name is Scott Lisha, S-C-O-T-T, last name Lisha, L-I, S as in Sam, H-I-A. Happy to report our wagering has still been holding very strong through the month of March, even with some more tracks coming online. So still very positive and up over last year. Big credit to the horsemen. They've been racing their horses here, and we've been carting full fields, which I think is tremendous. With that said, we will be shutting down after racing on Friday for a week to do some renovations to the track, some cleanups and things, traditional 1 week in April. And then on our return the following week, we will be racing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and adding Saturdays to our card throughout the summer. So that's all I have to report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Mike Zollinger from Pocono. Mike?
Thank you, Tony. Commissioners, it's Mike, M-I-K-E, Zollinger, Z-U-L-L-I-N-G-E-R. Not a whole lot to report this month, Tony. We're in the full swing of things. This coming Sunday, we move our post times to 6 p.m. And next Tuesday, we add Tuesday's post at 1. So it'll be a full 4-day race schedule. Handle has been strong. I've been very pleased to this point, up over last year. That's all I have for this month, Tony.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Thanks, Mike. Barry Brown from Harris. Barry?
Thank you, Tony. B-A-R-R-Y, last name Brown, B-R-O-W-N. Our opening day for 2023 is this Sunday, April 2nd. We'll start the season on a 3-day week schedule, Sunday, Thursdays and Fridays, and then we'll add Wednesdays on May 17th, and we're looking forward to getting going. Thank you.
Okay, Barry, good luck. No water issues. Joe Wilson from Parks. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Tony. Joe Wilson, Joe-E-W-I-L-S-O-N. I just want to thank the commission for wrapping up the agreements with HISA last week. And I want to echo Commissioner Jones, Commissioner DeBunda's comments about Tom, Tony, George, and the entire commission staff. I've had several dealings with HISA, and you know, Tom being able to get all those credits against the assessment and finalize this was a yeoman's task. So credit to you, Tom, and your staff. From what I saw, I neither saw nor heard any issues yesterday. That test barn, it was very professional, and And again, just congratulations and well done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Eric Johnson, Penn National. Eric?
Yeah, thank you. It's Eric Johnston, ERICJOHNSTON. Like Scott, we are also getting ready for a shutdown. So we race through Friday this week, and we'll take 2 weeks off to do similar maintenance, track maintenance and stable area maintenance. A lot easier when you don't have racing going on to get some of those projects done. You can alter your training schedule and whatnot. So we do appreciate the HBPA's cooperation in making these days happen, and we'll be moving forward very shortly. And like everybody else, we're kind of waiting to see more of the HISA stuff, and we start back racing tomorrow. But it looks like everything's pretty well in hand. And like Joe, we appreciate the hard work of the commission to help us out on that situation. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks, Eric. Matt Ennis from Presque Isle. Matt?
Yes, this is Matthew Ennis, Matthew, last name Ennis. I too would like to thank the commission on behalf of Presque Isle Downs and Churchill Downs for the efforts put forth with the HISA accomplishments. That's certainly good news for the tracks. On Monday, I had delivered 100 tons of additional Tapeta surface here in preparation for arrival of horsemen on April 17th, Monday, to begin populating our backside in preparation for our commission-approved start date of May 15th for our 2023 season. So there is some energy around the property currently in getting this season underway here at Presque Isle. Additionally, we are planning on improvements to our mutuals area for our 2023 season with 40 new mutual carols, allowing our an improved product for our betting population and our on-site live wagering activity along with simulcast. We're very excited about improving that area for the racing better, and that'll come with a lot of compliments and requests over the years to improve that area. So this is a very positive thing for the property and racing. Other than that, look forward to opening our backside soon and getting ready for our 2023 season. So thank you, Commission.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Sam Beagle, do you have anything, Sam? Kim Hankins, MSOA. Kim, you on the call?
Yes, Kim Hankins, KIMHANKINS. I echo Scott's remarks about our shutdown here for the next week. And also I'd like to report that we had a very good meeting with Meadows management about upcoming and future events of promoting racing here. So we look forward to a good working relationship as we always have with the Meadows. And that's my report, Tony.
Okay, thank you, Kim.
May I ask Sam a question? Last month, Mike Harrod indicated that you were trying to get a youth camp back this year. It apparently didn't happen.
What?
A youth camp, the Harness Horse Youth Foundation. And that it's not on their schedule, that's all. Okay.
Giving them money.
All right, thanks.
Okay. Todd Mosteller. Todd, did you have anything? No report. Jeff Maddie from the PTHA. Jeff, are you on the call? No, Jeff. We'll go to Standardbred Breeders, Jim Simpson or Mike Simpson. You guys on?
Mike Simpson, MikeSimpson. No report today.
Okay, Mike. And Brian Sanfratello is not with us today. He has a prior engagement. So that ends the industry reports. I know everyone's disappointed. Mike, do we have any public comment?
No, sir. We have no public comment.
Okay. Thanks, Mike.
Well, we have one public comment, please.
John Warner, JOHN, WK, and NER from the Standardbred Breeders. Are the HISA agreements public at this point?
Tom, you gonna?
No, they won't be. They're right now not finalized, the final agreements. Once the OGC and the Office of the Attorney General fully sign them, then they'll become public after that.
Excuse me, Tom, I missed that. Who asked the question?
Did
Who
you hear
asked
that,
that
Commissioner?
question?
John Warner asked the question of whether those documents were
thank you.
public yet, and the answer is not yet. I think they each have 30 days by law to sign or not. Hopefully, they don't take their full amount of time.
But we're going to seek an emergency review and approval.
All right, any other comments? Questions? All right, hearing.
Sure. Madam Chair.
Commissioner Darrell, Darryl, Brenizer, Beniser. I spoke to Ryan today about the fair schedule. The dates and the times are all firm. He's working with, what's the young lady's name?
Kelly Atchimo.
To put the program together. They're hoping to have everything finalized by the first week of May, the new catalog.
Fantastic. Sounds like good news and a note to end on, if I ever heard one. But one last call. Any other comments? All right, our next public meeting will be on Tuesday, April 25th, right here at 1 o'clock. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, motion and seconded, and everybody said yes. Safe travels, everybody, as you go home.